Hey guys, what's up? I'm Jules. Welcome back to another weekly cross-stitching channel update. I hope you guys have had a wonderful week. It is the last week of June 2024. I can't even hardly believe it. It is roughly 1 month away, not even a month, like 3 to 4 weeks away from the beginning of NFL training camps. My Bears are coming back and they're gonna be decent this year. Yay, yay. Anyway, we hope. So, anyway, my set's still sort of the same. I'm sort of like, nothing in the background really other than just a faded whatever. I did get the light. I got the light. They got the new charger for the light. I just didn't really feel like setting up the set. And I had a lot of things that I wanted to put up in pictures for this video. So I felt like, you're not gonna be able to see behind me anyway if I'm showing all these pictures. So, and it's faster this way too. So, alrighty, what have I been doing this week? Well, let me talk first about my gnome project, because I'm going to talk for a bit about Old World Map 2. Grumpy Gnome, honestly, I'm not really sure how many stitches I got done. I know it's at least 500, I think, this week. Let me show you where I'm at with him. He's coming along. He's coming along. So yeah, he's coming along really nicely. And I'm probably, as much as I always like to start with Old World Map 2 for the week, I might start with him later. So my gnome here is at 57%. I have 3,854 stitches to go. So trucking along really nicely on him. And I just think he's cool. I think he's cool. But outside of that, the only other project I did for the week was Old World Map 2. I did a lot of pattern creation, but we'll get to that. It was just kind of a crazy week. Let's just say that. It was just an up and down crazy week. So let me show you what I did in Old World Map. So I did another 500 plus stitches, 600 stitches maybe this week. So I think, I can't remember if the page is, well, I guess I could kind of take that. That's roughly where the page is. So the page is like roughly down to here. So I brought it in a little bit. I stitched a little bit, but then I just kind of brought the stitching down as well. And look how much I filled in. I filled in so much. I'm really trying hard to not have that confetti effect, going forward. So it slows me down a little bit during the actual stitching, but I think it's going to save a lot of time down the road. So, but that is coming along fantastic. And I was going to show y'all. So this is the picture that I cut out of like the front page, or the cover page of Old World Map 2. And this is a little faded with the colors. I should put the real picture up, but the reason why I wanted to show you guys is because like I made a mark roughly of where that first row ends. And so I'm like right here is where I'm at, which is crazy. So yeah, I'll go ahead and put the picture of the actual Old World Map up here now. Boom. While I talk about it. So, like I said, I don't know how many stitches I got in this past week, but I am currently sitting at 71,393 stitches done. When I started the year, when I made my sort of goal for the year for how much I was going to stitch on Old World Map 2, I was sitting at 61,860 stitches. So my goal for this year, this whole calendar year, is to stitch 20,000 stitches on this project, which doesn't sound like a lot for those of you who are full coverage fiends who probably do that a month. Probably do. You could. But if I was like the 10,000 mark, the halfway point of where I need to be, I'm only 533 stitches away from that. And I have like, what, 4 or 5 days left to do that. So I am super excited. I count my weeks technically start, how do I say this? So my weeks of counting start like the day that I do the video. Like the day after I do the video is like the first day of that week, but actual weeks start like on Monday or something. So but I'm right there. I'm right there. And remember, I have 2 weeks of like whatever time where I don't have to stitch, so that if something happens and I can't stitch and maybe I can't catch up or whatever, I still had the 2 week buffer built in where I can still get that 20,000. So 50 weeks times 400 stitches is 20,000 stitches. So I find a lot of times the 400 stitches I kind of want to keep going. So I mean, wouldn't it be nuts if I actually did more than 20,000 stitches? It would be so crazy. So I don't know. I'm trying not to get too hyped up for it, because the moment I start to focus on it and like really start to think about all the stuff I could do, then it'll jump the shark, and that'll be it. That'll be it. And I'll probably end up putting it away for 3 months, and then I'll really be in trouble with that. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to let it slide on by. So that's all I stitched this week. I thought about stitching other things. I looked at other things, but I really just didn't have, I didn't have a ton of time to do that. Well, I have time, but I didn't choose to do that. I'll tell you a little bit later what I've been spending my time on the last week or 2 weeks, but my time is coming back to me now, so that's good. Let's see. Oh, so I went on an interesting trip on the internet. I don't even know why I started out with that sentence, but I attended a Zoom meetup of folks from a YouTube channel called Shalene's Creativity Room. And every Sunday, I believe, no, actually, I think it's multiple days a week. Shalene, you can correct me if you're watching down below. Correct me, let me know like how many days or whenever you guys start. But they do just like a Zoom meetup, totally chill, where everybody is just kind of stitching and just doing their thing, and sometimes they talk and sometimes they don't, and sometimes they talk about stitching and sometimes they talk about whatever, but it's just a real chill meetup. So they asked me to come in, and I did, and I hung out with them for a bit, and we talked about, you know, my patterns and stitching, and I asked them a bunch of questions and they asked me some questions, and I got some really good ideas on some things. In fact, I'm going to share a couple of them with you here. But anyway, so anybody can, you know, can join up. I would subscribe to her channel, and if you can get the information for the Zoom, you know, think about dropping in and saying hi. I mean, it's, you know, for folks that maybe are stitching by themselves and they want to stitch with other people around, Zoom is a fantastic way to do it, and to just kind of, you know, be more social and make new friends perhaps. So I think that's a great idea. So a couple of the cross-stitching things that popped up. One of them was, I was asking, I always like to ask people like what size needles they use on what size fabric and whatnot, because on Old World Map 2, I believe the size 26 tapestry needle, in fact, I got the DMC ones right here because I actually just ordered some. The DMC ones are the ones that I tend to use. I tend to lose and use, and but I'll put the link down in the description for you if you guys are interested in this. But it's you know, I like them. The tapestry needles are better for me because they have the rounded edge. Oops, sorry about that light thing. I don't think I have a pointy needle, but if you you can see how it's sort of rounded off. It's not a sharp point. Choo, choo, choo. Oh, sorry. Anyway, so I find that they do really well, and I don't stab myself nearly as often. Yeah, I can still stab myself with a tapestry needle, but it doesn't go in nearly as deeply as the regular embroidery needles do. So that's good. That's good. That's very good. So yeah, so anyway, so one of the things we were talking about, because I was like, where do you guys get your needles from? And, you know, there's this, you know, the usual people get them from this online store or that online store, or even Amazon. And then the Temu came up. Temu came up. And it's sort of like I want to say it's probably kind of like a cheaper, like Amazon, like a real cheap Amazon, because everything's really cheap on there. But you'd be surprised at the quality of stuff that you can get on there. It's kind of surprising. I'm sure there's cheap stuff on there that breaks as soon as you look at it. But one of the folks in the in the chat room talks about how they get their needles from Temu, and they're extremely happy. They can buy them in bulk, and it's a fraction of the cost of what it costs to buy them anyplace else. I actually jumped on Temu and tried to figure out like where those were, but I was just having a really hard time finding size 26 tapestry needles. The search engine is not as precise as it is, say, on Amazon. So anyway, I'm gonna keep working at it. Because yeah, you can get like 30 needles for like $2 or something, and even if they break after like, you know, using it for a couple of weeks or something, that's pretty dang good for the price. So anyway, so yeah, so there's that. That was cool. I also got this week a new water soluble fabric marking pen for gridding, because this happened. Y'all can guess who did this. It wasn't me. Yeah, short round down there did it. That one thing is something else. And I swear I didn't even know it was on the ground. Like, I do care about my stuff. The funny thing is it actually somehow still works, even though it's been exposed to the air for, I don't know, a week now or something. I don't know, but I couldn't find the same brand. I've always done these Mark Begons, and I've recommended these for a long time, and I couldn't find it on Amazon. I couldn't reorder it. All right, I said I was going to talk about the pen, and now I can't find it. Of course. I mean, aha, there it is. Put it right where it was supposed to be, right? So I bought this one instead. This is a water erasing styla. And again, I'm going to change the link. I'm going to take that Mark Begone off on my description down below for the product, because this one is this is the one that I got now. So it's not as fine of a mark where you could, you know, draw a really narrow, I mean, very, very fine line. This one is definitely like a little wider, but it also actually uses a little bit more ink, so it's really readily apparent, and I kind of like that. So, and I've tested it. It does wash out easily in water. And honestly, if you're not gridding, you really should grid. If you're doing anything that is, I don't know, if you're just cross-stitching anything that's of decent size, I suppose, consider gridding. If you like my monochrome and you're worried about how to do the monochrome, if you grid everything in 10 by 10 sections, it makes it so much easier and faster to stitch that way. So, so yeah, I mean, and that's, I mean, you can see it on, actually, you can't really see the grid until you zoom in, because I actually had to, well, you can't see it because I didn't, actually, you kind of can't see it. It's there. It's just, oh, it's on the back. That's why I can't see it. Okay. There it is. Oh my goodness. It's later. It's later than normal for my video. But anyway, so yeah, so I grid. So much easier to grid, guys. Seriously. It's like, I count that as like one of the, like, the 5 biggest breakthroughs I've ever had as a cross stitcher. Like, that was definitely like one. I need to do a video about that too. Like, the biggest personal breakthroughs with my cross stitching and gridding would be one of them. It's a pillar of my cross stitching toolbox. And so so there's that. New patterns. It's time to talk about new patterns. Let's talk about new patterns. So everything I talked about last week, I think it's in the store. Honestly, the weeks go by so fast in my life that I kind of can't 100% remember what it was that I talked to you about. So I'm going to actually, this is one of the nice things about doing the video this way, is that I can actually look at my computer screen and be able to see what's going on. So, did I put anything new on that I talked about? The skull cross stitch pattern is up and on there. I gotta say, the Patriotic Eagle is actually like a tremendous seller. One of the fastest sellouts that I've had in months, basically, I think. So, pleased about that. So, it looks like, I think everything I talked about last week is on there. All right, let me go to my drafts here. So, Riding the Waves needs to be published, and it's right here in my draft, so it needs to be updated and published. That was the one that was the surfer and this massive wave, and it's a big cross stitch. It's big, full coverage cross stitch. But I mean, if you love the waves, if you love the oceans, Hawaii or whatever, Spain, Portugal, Australia, all those hotbed places for surfing, this would be the one for you. I tried making a smaller pattern, but so far it hasn't worked because there literally is so much detail in this one. But I'm going to keep trying. Hopefully I can get that done relatively soon. So I have some colorful ones to show you. First up is called Japanese Cherry Blossom, and this is a beautiful Japanese cherry blossom. My husband and I watched these. There's a guy in Japan, I believe, that his name is Rambalak, which is basically like he rambles a lot around, and in Japan, and he does these walking videos where he has like the gear set up like probably like a foot above his head or 2 feet above his head, and he just walks through these city streets, the countries, the sidewalks, and through parks and just everything. And they're just some of the coolest videos ever. And the last couple months, we've been seeing all these cherry blossoms in Japan, like in full bloom. And it made me think, man, I need to get a Japanese cherry blossom here. And there it is. There it is right there. So, let's see, how big is this? Let me pull this up here. So it's actually not even that big. It's like a medium full. Well, it's not even full coverage. It's 160 by 160, and everything that you see that looks white, like behind the tree, is not stitched. So you can use that for whatever color fabric you want. 23 DMC colors used. So that's super exciting. I love that a lot. Yeah. So 160 by 160. That I was pretty happy with how that one came out dimension wise. Alrighty, next one up. Okay, another color one. This one's like an early Halloween. I don't know why I have some Halloween stuff coming out right now, but I do. This one is definitely kind of scary. Bit scarier than some of the other ones I've done. I call it 3 Scary Sisters. And it's purposely kind of left sort of not as bright and bold. More vintage, weathered, older look, the kind of thing that truly scares people. At least me, it scares me. This one is kind of a mini. It could almost be a mini. I'm not labeling it as a mini. Do you think I should label it as a mini? It's 120 by 130. And why is that blue? Uses 27 colors. But yeah, 120 by 130. And I mean, it's kind of a mini. Maybe I'll move it to the mini section. I'm not sure. Maybe I can actually make it smaller, and it truly would be a mini. We'll see. Maybe I can do that. But anyway, so there's like an early Halloween listing for you. Let me get back over here. Okay, so one of the fine folks in the Creativity Room Zoom meetup was like, I would like a good snowman monochrome. By the way, everybody loves the monochrome in the room. I was like blown away. They were just showing me all these different, we were discussing different ideas for fabric and some different things, and they're just blowing me away with their ideas. But I got a snowman. I got 2 snowmen actually. So I did the regular medium snowman, which definitely has a bit more detail on it. It's 165 by 200. But there's only like 4,200 stitches, so I called that one a medium. It could have almost been a mini, but I'm going to call it a medium because I actually made a mini. There is now a mini snowman, and I don't even know like all the different kinds of fabric you could use on this thing. You could, whatever you want, a light blue or whatever you want. You know, something that looks like the outdoor snow and the bluish, whitish, you know, kind of background. That would be cool. But the mini is 59 by, well, technically 60 by 110. That's pretty small. And stitch count, 1,819 stitches. 1819 stitches. So that's really small. That one might be the smallest one I have. It might be. I'm not sure, but it might be. But both of those are ready to go up on the store here very, very shortly. So there's that one. And that's all that's in that section right now. So let me talk about a few more that are going to be published shortly. So y'all remember that mini wolf, or that wolf in disguise that I had, the black and white? I had a really nice person reach out to me and ask me if I could color at least part of that wolf in disguise, and I wish I could. I wish I could do like the Red Riding Hood wolf. I can't. Let's say this. I am not knowledgeable, skilled enough to take a completely black and white image and add color to it, like specific color in terms of like, I just want to make this part red. At least not in a way that would be realistic. I mean, yeah, I could take like dark coral or something like that and just dot over the hood. That's not going to look good. It needs to have some shading, almost look like there's some texture to it. And, you know, I have not figured out how to do that. However, I did actually kind of work with it on some AI, artificial intelligence apps and whatnot. And this is something new that I'm kind of looking at and I'm kind of working with. And I was able to kind of create sort of like a bluish wolf in disguise, which I'm showing you. That one's coming out soon, and so probably next week or two. But I was just pretty pleased about that. That one actually came out kind of nice. So usually my super minis based on my black and whites, my mini monochromes, come out more in a very light sepia tone, and I actually like deliberately changed the colors on this, and I was pleased because the sepia toned one just didn't look very good. But well, the mini version looks great. The larger one that I was looking at wasn't so good, but the bluish one, that looks really cool. I have another human anatomy monochrome. I'm doing a pair of lungs this time. So I have a brain. I think I have a heart. We got lungs. I've done an eye. Ribs. We did ribs. And yeah, it's just picking the human body over a little bit at a time. So this one it's kind of like a low end premium as far as stitching count. So, but that one's coming out soon. I have another steampunk animal for you guys. And because I forgot to put this one in with the rest of them. So once I get this guy up, I need to actually just, I gotta bang myself on the head to get these bundles done. Because I still need to do that bundle for the tarot cards, but I want to do a bundle for the steampunk animals. This one is a steampunk turtle, and he's so cool looking. He's just so cool. He's so dapper. He's got the little tie, and he's got the little glasses. Anyway, so he's looking really good. I'm very pleased with how he has turned out. I'm also doing some things with color with the Angry Dragon, which I'm not going to show you just yet. Next week I should have a lot more, something a lot better, more ready to come out. Let's see, what else do I got? I also came across some Egyptian art that I had that I needed to create patterns out of. And so I've got some different ideas. Like there's some different gods and there's some different like monsters, you could say, Egyptian monsters. And some really just really cool Egyptian stuff that I wanted to get out there. So that is, I'm working on it. So hopefully that'll be out soon. And there's a big old butterfly coming out. I don't remember if I don't think I sent that off yet, but there's a big, very colorful butterfly coming out. And I think I think that's it for now for those. But pattern creation has still been going pretty crazy. I did take a couple week kind of break. I don't think I hardly published anything. I just was I wasn't burned out. I just had other things going on, some other stresses going on because, you know, life, right? Life. But yeah, so there's those. I want to, let's see, we've got some things to talk about. So one of the reasons why I haven't had as much time to stitch the last couple of weeks, Stanley Cup Finals. I got to watch him this year with a young buddy of mine that I have known him since he was this big, and met him when he was not even quite a day old, and he's the son of a pair of folks that are some of my absolute, maybe my best friends outside of my husband, probably my best friends outside of my husband, and we've been close for a long time, and their kid is now 21. And he's local, and so they've moved to Ohio, but he's local, going to school at Colorado. I've probably mentioned him once or twice before, but he for the summer he's living pretty close to us, so he came over every night that the playoffs were on, and we hung out and watched playoff hockey for the whole finals. It was so much fun. What a great series! Amazing comeback, great performances. Just super happy. Okay, I got all these different things going on, writing about stuff. I want to shout out to a couple folks in the family that are kind of going through some rough times right now. First up is my pops, my father-in-law. I call him Pops. And because he just seems like a pops, and so he's just, you know, he's just cool. He's probably tied with my mom for my biggest fan, and or maybe my husband, I don't know. But anyway, he loves the videos. How you doing? I hope you're doing better. Anyway, he's been kind of a little under the weather over the last week or so, and I also forgot to wish him a happy Father's Day. And I apologize for that, Pops. I really do. We did call you and wish you, but I forgot on the video. So I'm sorry. So happy belated Father's Day on here. But Pops and he's just been great. He's been so great. He has been like my biggest fan of like this channel and the videos, and just he loves them so much. And it really is, you know, there are some weeks where, you know, I'm like, I don't know if I got anything to talk about. You know, there's just not a lot going on. But then I'm like, well, Pops wants that video and wants to see what's going on. So let's do that. You know, let's get something going here. So, anyway, so I hope you're feeling better, Pops. I know you are today. I know you're probably ready to go at this point. So, and then my poor aunt, that oh my gosh, fell and broke her hip. Does everybody fall and break their hip when they're older? Because it certainly seems like it's like more and more likely. But she's doing better. She had surgery, and she should be doing a lot better by tomorrow. But it's been kind of a stressful week in the family. Just a lot of stuff going on. I'm still progressing. I'm 4 months and about 2 weeks, 4.5 months away from past my spinal fusion. And if you're new to my channel, or if you haven't been watching for very long, You might not know that I had spine fusion surgery back in February. And I had it because I'd had a very long-standing lower back issue that honestly I knew I always had lower back issues. I didn't know how bad it was. And I pretty much had like no disc left, a lot of arthritis that had built up, and was starting to really block the nerves that fed down into my legs, causing a lot of sciatica. And I had sciatica for months before we went in there and got the surgery. And the surgery really helped. The pain got a lot better. And it's taken a while. Strength wise, it's been taking a while. And my job that I basically work in a warehouse at a rental company, like an event rental company. And so it's physical work. It can be physical work. And I really jumped in too fast with the physical work. I freely admit that. I was picking things up, even though I felt like I could do it. I was picking things up too often, and then, just too often. Too much, gradually too much weight, and just way too often. It's like, no, okay, you can pick up, 20 pounds, but what they don't realize is that I pick up 20 pounds like, 200 times a day. So like that, it's probably too much. But like you said, because he's like, oh no, you can walk, and you can, my surgeon, oh, you can walk, and get as much walking in as you feel like you can. And when I saw him the other day, and I said, well, I'm doing like, some days I'm getting up to like 15,000 steps, and he's like, okay, well, that's a bit much. I was like, oh, I thought I could walk as much as I could. And but anyway, so I started having problems again over the last I think month or so. A bit more pain popping up here and there. I've been having some like hip pain and some thigh pain and some different things. And my my right leg, my right foot and ankle, and a little bit of my calf is swollen. So that's like, all right, what is that? So my chiropractor, great guy, love him to death. He's saved me so many times. Is very much of the opinion that it is I must have some scar tissue from the surgery that is now impinging on the nerve somewhere in my hip or something like that, where it's causing these issues. And long-standing nerve damage can cause, and I saw this before surgery, and then it got better, and then like it started like 6 to 8 weeks after surgery. Really in the last month, I noticed like the foot was really really starting to have issues. And so so I went and saw the doc again recently. I'm like, when was that? And so we talked about a lot of different things, and they decided to go ahead and run some more tests just to make sure that my fusion was actually holding. They were worried that maybe it was fusing poorly, not fusing at all, or something else going on. So got a CT, got some x-rays. Everything looks great. Everything looks great. Everything is where it should be, and the healing, and I've already got a really good like healing space between my L4, L5. Like that looks like that has fused really well. And so things are looking really good. I really thought that I would fuse, because usually I'm a good healer, but so we're back to, is it scar tissue causing these issues, or is it something with my circulation? And so I'm actually seeing a vascular specialist next month, about 3 weeks, I think, a little under 3 weeks. And I hope I'll get some answers there. So we're not done. We're not done yet. We're not quite done, which, what a bummer. What a bummer. At work, I'm getting really frustrated, to be honest with you guys, because like I love working hard. I love physically working hard and just jumping in and just let's go, and get stuff done, because it's the busy season. We got stuff to do, and I am like on the sidelines of most of it, just not being able to do anything that's that physical, doing things that I can just stand there and use my hands and just do some things. What a letdown, man. I was so excited. I was thinking that I was going to be like, oh, let's go, So I really probably have a couple more months before I'm there, depending upon what we find out with why I have pain and swelling. So, there you go. I also have a headache right now. The headache's from other things. I think the headache's from, I need to stretch. Yeah, I do need to stretch. My hubs has been making me do yoga with them. When we get home from work, we walk the dogs and then we do yoga, or he walks the dog and then we do yoga. And then I've been stretching. So anyway, so that's what's going on. Yeah, I think that's what's going on. I don't think I have anything else. I'm going to get back to stitching. I'm going to get to more pattern creation. I am at 525 published patterns, although I have I have like, I think, I don't know, like 30 that I need to just retool, that I want to put back out. I want to republish them, but they need to be upgraded. They need to have the newer design. You know, it needs to be like version 3.4 or whatever. It needs the better, oh, I got another story for you. It needs the better, anyway, all the better stuff. Did I tell you guys about the air conditioner? I feel like I did, but if I didn't, I'm going to tell you about the air conditioner, because it's been a revelation for us. I want to say that I did, because I think I showed you guys my finger, which is pretty much healed at this point. Just a little skin needs to fully heal. I had issues with my air conditioner for, I don't know, at least 2 or 3 years. It just felt like, man, it's not as powerful. It's having issues, you know. And then one day, like in the middle of like my back hurting, I'm like, I need to go and look at the air conditioner, like, because we were getting ready to have a stretch of like 90+ degree days. This was, I think, a week ago Sunday, and so I was like, I need to go look at it. Was it a week ago Sunday, or was it this past Sunday? Man, I tell you what, I cannot remember. And so, you know, you're supposed to spray with a hose, like on the outside of your unit, kind of spray inwards. And I was doing that, and I was like looking at it. I'm like, I don't know if I'm not getting anything done, because they're like, you really shouldn't have to, nor should you open up your air conditioner and whatnot. But one of the things that I could see was I could see through the big fan that, you know, pulled air in. I think it pulls air in. And it was at the bottom, it probably had like this much of like pine needles and leaves and all kinds of things. And there wasn't really a good way, like I couldn't really just wash that stuff out. And I'm like, well, I need the air to circulate better. So, and then the second thing that was the straw that broke my camel's back was as I was spraying, and I was at the edge, and I was like, is this what is this, insulation? Do I have insulation? Like, what is this in my I want to say the coils, the sort of the sides, that the coils where the air feeds through. So I got a screwdriver and I just started disassembling everything. I pulled off all 4 sides and the top. That was fun. And what I discovered was this person did not clean properly for many years, and what was built up inside was not going to come off. Was not going to come off with a hose. It was probably like this much of just muck. Like you just like, it was like it was like insulation, or like a piece of cotton roll, like I don't know. Anyway, so I just kind of peeled it off, and I was like, yeah, I wonder if the air conditioner will be a lot better. But so it probably took about an hour, and I cleaned everything out, wiped it down, brushed it out, all this stuff, and then put everything back together. And that really wasn't the greatest thing in the world for my back, but man, it's worked so much better now. It can actually keep up. Before, it was just running like a maniac, and you know, the temperature in the house could get up to 80 degrees or higher, which was just horrible. And now it can, you know, it keeps it at least at no higher than about 76 or so, and that's when it's a really hot day. And we just had some nice rain, so now the temperatures come all the way down to 75. Yay! So only like 2-3 more months of this, we can get back to the proper kind of weather, the cool weather. So anyway, that's my crazy. I have so many stories as a homeowner, so many near misses. so many terrible things that I have done. Maybe I'll tell another story someday of this time. This is how I almost badly injured myself. I don't know, maybe. But anyway, this is a really long video. It's kind of a makeup video for the last couple of weeks that have been shorter. But like I said, I kind of have I've gotten through some stuff recently and got a little bit of a load lifted off. And if the family heals and gets back home real soon, then that's another, piece of the puzzle that's going to feel a lot better. And yeah. All right, guys, I really do appreciate you so much. If you are still here and you have not yet subscribed, well, press that button down below. And if you want to make sure that you know when my videos are coming out, hit that little bell, the notifications bell. That'll send you a little message when one of my videos comes out. I only have that set for one person. I only have notifications for one, and I have a lot of people I subscribe to, but one person. And that is Pico's Hank. And if you do not know who Pico's Hank is, you need to know who Pico's Hank is. He is a weather enthusiast, storm chaser, but really he makes his living and his reputation on his photography. So his storm photography, videography. He also does a lot of cool things with animals. And my husband and I just adore him. And so literally if we're doing something and one of us says, oh, Pico's Hank just put a video out, we drop everything and we go to one monitor or TV or whatever together and we watch the video. And that's the only guy that we do that with. So anyway, that's a big recommendation. So, all right, dudes, I hope you have a great rest of whatever day this is that you're watching this. I hope you're getting a lot of good stitching done. And if you're not, don't worry about it. You'll come back to it. Don't worry. It's going to come back. Don't worry. What time is it? I got to get this video up. So I will talk to you guys soon. Maybe, if I get my act together and I can get organized, maybe this weekend a mid-year video, a mid-year like progress video. Like all the stuff that's been done, and there's been a lot up to this stage. So I gotta actually write it out and see if it's worth doing. So, all right, guys, take care, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon.